native out of Chaminade High School and Hofstra University. His 7th NCAA tournament appearance. Let's check out the starting 5 for Davidson. Nick Cochran, J.P. Kuhlman, Chris Cherapowicz, Damon Brooks, and Jake Cohen for the Wildcats. For Marquette, 23-8 this season, Junior Cadogan, Vander Blue, and Trent Lockett, along with Juan Anderson and Chris O'Toole up front. For Buzz Williams, now in his 5th year as the head coach at Marquette. He's made the NCAA tournament every year. 3 NCAA Final Fours on his resume, including a national championship game in 2004. So we're set to go. Marquette and Davidson. 3-14 matchup in the East region. Marquette controls the tip.
I think Marquette wants to establish a post-up presence if they can as early in this game, dominate the paint, and we'll see if Davidson can go back to their pace and get it going up and down the floor, which they like to do.
8 straight 20-plus win seasons for Marquette, entering action at 23-8. The drive, and it's Blue trying to finish around the rim. It's knocked towards the baseline and saved, but out of bounds. Last touched by Cherapowicz of Davidson. Bob McKillop, high expectations coming into this season, considering what they did a year ago. He said this team dealt with it. Tough early schedule. They handled it, and then they showed their resolve as they got into conference play, finishing 17-1 in the Southern Conference.
Ooh, long time to get that in, just barely making it.
O'Toole, he traveled.
That wasn't good from the entry pass, right? Little hesitation, slow down, nothing working on that play.
No early turnover for Marquette. 29 seconds in for Buzz Williams' team. J.P. Kuhlman can handle the ball, as can Nick Cochran in the backcourt. Right now it's Kuhlman matched up with Blue. Cherapowicz is inside, Cohen on the outside, and Cohen misses on the leaner. Hard drive, Cadogan trying to make the connection, and it's knocked out of bounds. Lockett was on the baseline. Let's take a look behind the stats presented by LG. The 17-game winning streak for Davidson. #1 in free throw shooting. 8 straight NCAA tournament appearances for Marquette. They get 31 points off of their bench. That is quite a jolt from the reserves.
Oh, that's real depth in terms of being able to use it and using it effectively.
Anderson turns it over. So sloppy start to this one for Marquette. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers for the Golden Eagles.
Well, there you go. He's out of bounds. Good call. Deflection. You never get back in bounds. That ball is deflected from out of bounds to a guy standing out of bounds. It's a good call from the officials and the correct call.
Damon Brooks on a pass for Cochran, Vancouver, British Columbia native. Now it's Jake Cohen, Southern League Player of the Year.
Tough.
Hesitation, doesn't go for Cherapowicz.
Good job by Lockett coming across the screen on the right-hand side of the shooter, but didn't quit when he got hit off the screen.
Blue using the screen from O'Toole, the spin, and he travels. 3 possessions, 3 turnovers for Marquette.
So you want to play in the NCAA tournament, huh? Get yourself unrattled a little bit. This has all the makings for a terrific matchup with these 2 teams.
Last year, Marquette lost to Florida in the regional semifinals, 68-58. Cohen drops it inside. Brooks twirls and blocked by O'Toole. Davidson holds onto it. Cherapowicz, yes, for 3.
40% for a guy who's at 6'7", and that's a factor, right? You get to the force defensively, somebody to come out and guard a big, opens up the middle of the floor if they need it.
Native of Sweden, now a junior. Cherapowicz averaging 9 points per game. Davidson on the board first. Cadogan the lob. Ooh. The catch made on the baseline. Anderson can't get it. The follow doesn't go. Lockett trying to crash. O'Toole gets to it and gets it to drop.
That's one of the things about O'Toole. He is just so strong and active and really pushes his weight around in a legal fashion. You just have to find him and push and shove and use your lower body to get him out of there. Yep. Out of bounds. And you take a look. Marquette puts it up. This is what I was speaking about a moment ago. The inside presence, the power game. See if they can make it happen. Good finish there and good concentration by Otule.
And a turnover for Davidson. 3-2 lead, 17:31 mark of this first half. Devontae Gardner in. Otule is going to sit. Jamil Wilson checks in for Marquette as well. We told you about the bench and the production that Buzz Williams gets. He has no problem mixing and matching early in the game.
How do you feel if you're Jake Cohen, though, right? Otule leaves, Gardner comes in. It's not an afternoon off with either of those two with their size and bulk.
Well, you go from 275 pounds Otule to 290 Gardner. Wilson off the side of the rim. Rebound controlled by Cherapowicz.
And any way you do the math, Cohen's at 235.
Marquette opens up 1 of 5 from the field. Cohen, head and shoulder fake. He's fouled on his way to the rim in a collision underneath the basket. And it was Cadogan who took the hit, but the foul was called out front against Marquette. It will work on Gardner. So now Otule will come back in, replacing Devontae Gardner, the Big East 6th man of the year. He just played 30 seconds.
Well, I don't think Buzz Williams wants to take a chance at back-to-back fouls early in a game to take his guys out of a game mentally. So share the minutes and keep a fresh body on Cohen.
Nick Cochran shoots 48% from three-point territory. Here's Cherapowicz off the rim. Rebound is handled by Otule. And Davidson is 1 of 5 from the field.
Cherapowicz has a nice-looking jumper, doesn't he?
He does. Wilson, the runner, no. Rebound, Lockett. This is where there could be some problems for Davidson off the offensive glass. Blue, too strong. And Otule, another board. There's Cadogan, tried to cross over on Cochran.
Cadogan's been playing very good basketball lately for Marquette. Hard-nosed guy who will take a big-time shot.
The hard drive by Blue. He misses on the running one-hander. And the rebound to Kuhlman. Marquette is 1 of 8 from the field. Kuhlman leaves it for Cohen, a 3. Book it.
What big guy's going to come out and guard him out there? 39% from the three-point stripe. And you know what? If you're a power forward, that's a long way to go. Long way to go to get him.
Out of Berwyn, Pennsylvania, Conestoga High School, the senior economics major, Jake Cohen, averaging just under 15 points per game. 6'2", Davidson. Junior Cadogan. Canadian against Canadian, and he comes up short against Cochran. The ball ricochets off of Kuhlman. Out of bounds. 6'2", Davidson in front. Jake Cohen, inside-outside abilities have to respond.
11 to play in regulation. Ian and Jim, back to you.
All right, Greg, the winner there will play the number 1 seed in the West, Gonzaga or Southern, the 16 seed. Still haven't had a 16 seed knock off a 1 in NCAA tournament history. 6'2", Davidson, the 14 seed, leading Marquette. Tyler Kalinowski is in for the Wildcats. The drive just beats the shot clock, but an air ball thrown up by Jamil Wilson. Tom Droney also in for Davidson.
A rocky start at the offensive end for Marquette.
There's Cochran matched up with Cadogan. Just about 5 minutes gone by in this first half. Marquette has been held to 2.
They get Brooks his looks down on the post.
Brooks, the lefty, turnover. Cadogan steps in, comes up with a steal, and then the foul called against Cochran. Well, the Davidson Wildcats, out of the Southern Conference, won the title, getting into the NCAA tournament. Of course, that 2008 run with Steph Curry, Elite 8, Curry, and Woodrow Wilson. And we're putting Curry in front. That's the order that they were listed in, so we respect that.
Alphabetical.
Yeah, we'll go alphabetical. 6'2", Davidson. I believe Curry had more points than Woodrow Wilson. I'll have to check the numbers officially.
Basketball or political?
Basketball.
Okay.
Yeah. Spread the floor.
There's that dump down.
Gardner can't get it to go, and a rebound controlled by Cohen.
Nice tricky move there by Gardner, though, to pull that ball and push it through the defender's hands, but just didn't finish.
Marquette's 1 of 11. Brooks misses on the jam, and he's fouled. Damon Brooks, the Charlotte, North Carolina native, is going to the free throw line.
Terrific look. Brooks is always posting up. You see him down deep. Nice entry pass. Just doesn't finish it because of that little bit of a bump.
So it will be Jamil Wilson on the foul, and Damon Brooks, 77% shooter. picked it up late in the season. Undersized power forward at 6'7", 227 pounds. Juan Anderson will rotate back in, and Steve Taylor Jr. will sit for Marquette. Elsewhere, Memphis with the lead over on CBS against St. Mary's, 32-22. Told you about Wichita State and Pitt on TBS, and over on TNT, St. Louis on top of New Mexico State in the second half.
St. Louis with a terrific year. Great story. Jim Cruz doing a good job there. Just a fabulous story and showing that the A-10's for real.
Clint Mann checks in. He has not played since January 17th when he suffered a concussion against the Citadel. So he's in there for Davidson.
Here's that tempo.
Droney spilled out, and he's going to get free throws out of it. A foul called as Tom Droney, the junior from Pittsburgh, earns a trip to the line. Vander Blue gets called on the foul, and Marquette is stuck on 2 points on the scoreboard. They trail 7-2. Droney, very versatile. He played point guard as a freshman, now steps in at point guard if necessary. 2 guards, small forward, good defensive player. Davidson extends the lead. It's 8-2.
And as we just saw, Droney very good at getting to the basket too, and that helps on your transition. If you have to get out and ahead of the people, you beat the opposition to half court, you're going to have some good opportunities coming down the floor, and he's one that can do that.
Davidson did have wins out of conference early in the season against Vanderbilt and West Virginia. Marquette is now 1 of 12 from the field. Anderson looks down low.
Yeah, see, they're sliding in from the opposite side. Watch when the ball goes to the wing. There's good red shirt help in the middle of the floor.
Blue flicks it out for Anderson. Shot clock is down to 12. Blue steps into it. Can't hit the jump shot, and it's rebounded by Cochran.
Great work by Cohen, too. Defensive rebounding, even though he didn't get the ball with the big block out.
Davidson on the move. Cohen lines it up. Count it, a 3. Davidson with a 12-2 lead on Marquette.
And a step out, as we've spoken about, the tall guy going out on the floor, and Cohen Gardner's just not going to get there for him. It's a delayed break, so they work on that all the time in terms of flushing people to the basket and having a delay with the big guy.
Davidson is 3 of 3 from three-point territory inside. Counted in a foul. Devontae Gardner taking matters into his own hands. A chance at a three-point play.
Yeah, see, watch Gardner. He's good with the basketball. See how he brings it down a little bit? Sometimes you can get in trouble, but he gets through there. And look at the delay. Here's the delayed break. Gardner just can't get out quick enough. And Cohen shoots it with confidence, as we touched on. Just a shade under 40% on the season.
Second highest scoring average in the country without starting a game this season. Devontae Gardner, 11.5 points off the bench. And he just finds ways to score on the inside.
And interesting enough, too, Ian, shoots 84% from the line. The only Marquette player 80 or above, and we just talked about the beginning of the broadcast, 80% as a team for Davidson. So, ironically, that is 6'8", 290-pound guy is their best free throw shooter.
From Suffolk, Virginia, Gardner converts.
And that's why. It's a smooth-looking shot. He's got great hands.
Derek Wilson has come on for Marquette, replacing Junior Cadogan. Trying to get another substitute in.
Yep.
And it will be Otule. So it's Otule, Mayo, Wilson, Anderson.
Not to correct you, my friend, but he's not getting into this game. I don't think, is he? They're pointing to the bench.
Well, the officials now having a chat with Buzz Williams. Otule remains out there, and now he's being told he's going to have to leave the game. Gardner has checked back in, and Otule has not left the floor.
Let's just make sure this works out right. All right, so who's leaving?
Gardner came up. The officials just came together to talk about it, with Eric Curry and Michael Irving discussing. And Otule is going to remain on the floor.
Get out of here, big guy.
And Devontae Gardner will sit. Otule, he stayed there with resolve.
I'm not going to... me yelling at him, by the way, we are on the other side of the floor, so he can't hear us.
12-5, Davidson in front, and the two teams huddle up as the officials come together now to discuss this very controversial substitution. 13-11 mark of this first half. Did that official hand the ball off prior to the substitution? That's the question. Was the ball in play as Otule just came onto the floor? Obviously, that's not allowed.
I think they should do it kind of like hockey or roller derby.
Oh, really?
Just jump on when you want to. Hope nobody notices. All right, get back to playing, though. That's the most important thing, right? Keep your rhythm, especially if you're Davidson with the lead.
And that's officially the first roller derby reference of the NCAA tournament in 2013. And maybe the only.
Give it time. It's a long day.
12-5, Davidson in front. And guess who's on the floor? Chris Otule.
Thank you.
He was not leaving.
Well, they had to cut off the jam. There you go. Nice step in.
Trent Lockett will take it in for the two-handed flush. So the steal and slam for Lockett. And Marquette has chipped away. It's now 12-7 Davidson.
There's a little double team. Let's see if they can close.
Cochran gets rid of it and gets it back from Clint Mann. Mann, a transfer from Iowa State. Cochran fending off Anderson on the perimeter. Feed it inside. The back in by Brooks. And a foul called.
Playing the passing lane is so important, and Lockett does it just perfectly there. The timing, the finish, and it helps at least Marquette to get an easy bucket out of it, which I think is very important to try to get them thinking that we can put the ball through and make things happen.
Foul called against Juan Anderson. New shot clock to work with. Droney does get it in for Kalinowski for Davidson. Davidson up by 5 on Marquette.
They sit on the perimeter, don't they?
Working around. Cochran, a three. Shoots it at 48% from three-point territory. That's 9th in the nation. Davidson is 4 of 4 from long range.
I love the way Bob McKillop's team is not getting out of character at all, right? They're just playing their games, comfortable, defending, little hole down deep.
Trying to lock down Otule, and he's able to draw the foul against Davidson.
And so here's their patient game, and then all of a sudden they get a good look. Wilson doesn't react on the perimeter, and fine, they'll take that shot. As a team, they shoot it at 37% from the floor at the three-point stripe. Right off the bat, they've made a nice statement here against Buzz Williams and company.
Mann called for the foul. He heads to the bench. Cohen is back in for the Wildcats. Lob it in for Gardner. Junior Cadogan is returned for Marquette. Cohen, the slap away. Trying to save it was Kuhlman, out of bounds. We get a timeout with 11:56 to play. First half, the 14 seed in the East, Davidson.
Because they're getting 6 offensive rebounds, but they obviously are missing a lot of shots, as you touched on. I have 3 of 15. Going over to the Davidson side, though, poised once again, starting things off, sticking to their guns, and basically shooting it very nicely from long range.
Marquette with the ball. They get it in for Jamil Wilson. And they get a bucket.
Nice set right there in terms of making sure they get one to the big guy. Whoop, little turnover, you look at it, you don't look it all the way into your hands, you try to make something beforehand, and Brooks not catching the basketball.
So Devontae Gardner now with 5 points, and an unforced error for Bob McKillop's squad. 15-9, Davidson leads it. Cadogan, Wilson, Gardner, Blue, and Lockett, the 5 on the floor for the Golden Eagles. Wilson, the transfer from Oregon. Cross-court feed. Lockett, the transfer from Arizona State, takes it in for the bucket.
What's happening, too, is when the big guy Gardner is posting up on the right side of the floor, when they took that ball to the other side, now Davidson has to go from the middle of the paint to sag off all the way out. Good time to attack off the dribble, as we just saw.
J.P. Kuhlman, very tight defense from Cadogan. Kalinowski now puts it on the deck. Trying to set it up for Cohen. Backing in, Cohen loses the ball, a turnover. Cadogan comes out of the pack. Numbers would lock it on the dish. Blue with the finish. And just like that, Marquette is down by 2.
Pretty good spacing there. It was tough because there wasn't good spacing to begin with, but they let it develop on the break. You always want to have your guys flailing to the sides, to the wings a little bit.
All 6 of Marquette's field goals have come deep in the paint, which could be the recipe for the Golden Eagles. Foul called. Blue helping out defensively, and he hacked Jake Cohen.
Here's that defense. Nice work defensively by Cadogan. Now all of a sudden you see he finally gets it to the middle of the floor, and that allows him to have just enough space to make it a 2-on-1 rather than a 3-on-2 on the break.
Kalinowski sits. On the floor for Davidson right now is Kuhlman, Cochran, Brooks, Cohen, and Cherapowicz. They're starting 5. Oh, what an entry. It's Kuhlman to Cherapowicz off the inbound. Derek Wilson is in for Marquette.
Boy, that's a lost art, isn't it? The inbounds play under your own basket. Generally, you see that heave about 3/4 court just to get it inbounds. Nice set, though, by Davidson.
Derek Wilson, the sophomore from Anchorage, Alaska, running the point guard duties right now for Marquette. Blue, the penetration. The flip, no. Rebound tracked down by Davidson's Nick Cochran. Get it ahead for Kuhlman. On a cross.
Go up.
The entry, Brooks.
He's out of bounds when he touched the basketball.
Marquette, Trent Lockett touched it.
Watch the end. Let's just watch the end cut. Right through here is where you have to watch for it. There's the screen. Nobody plays. Boom. Great cut away from the basketball by Cherapowicz.
Todd Mayo is in, the brother of O.J. Mayo, and now plays for the Dallas Mavericks. He replaces Vander Blue. Get it in for Cochran. Past the halfway point, first half. Cohen to the rim. Playing with a lot of confidence. Jake Cohen, 8 points in the first half.
He's undersized, obviously, against Otule, but what he did there, he had just a little bit of separation to make sure he could get by him.
Wilson on the perimeter. This is Jamil Wilson. Denied, but a foul. So Wilson taking it towards the rim, and that's where Davidson is going to have some potential problems here today. Brooks picks up his first. Tuesday, don't miss True TV's #1 hit show, the all-new season of Hardcore Pawn. That's Tuesday at 9 p.m. on True TV. Made the decision to just plow through that one. Don't even think twice. You just go for it. 1914, Davidson. Jamil Wilson. Deep threat, nice looking stroke at 36%. He's an excellent athlete and big frame, 6'7", 225. Plays some power forward and small forward.
Yeah, and plays the starters minutes and probably the most talented guy on the floor for Marquette.
Davidson up by 5. We approach 9 minutes to go in this first half from Rupp Arena. And a foul called. Buzz Williams can't believe it. It'll work against Marquette. 6th team foul against the Golden Eagles. Foul called on Derek Wilson, his first. New shot clock for Davidson to work with. Kuhlman trying to get the step. Mayo draws the assignment. Kuhlman rejected by Otule. Wilson on the push. Pull up, pop Mayo.
Oh, look at him go to work.
Otule denied by Cohen.
Things working favorably for both teams. Offensive glass by Marquette. Better defense, though, by Davidson.
Cherapowicz using the screen. Cohen against Wilson. Brooks drives to the hoop and draws the foul. Otule with the last line of defense. Game summary with Davidson up by 5, shooting it well, 6 of 11 from the field. Marquette is just 6 of 20, 0 of 3 from three-point territory. Marquette has benefited from 5 Davidson turnovers. Cohen leading the way with 8 points. Gardner has 5 for the Golden Eagles.
And one of the things about Marquette, even though those numbers are stacked against him field goal percentage-wise right now, I wouldn't be too disappointed because they were getting shots in the paint. And I think even though you missed them, it tells me that at least from a team perspective, we're getting those shots, which isn't a bad thing. Now we just got to have to finish them off.
Otule called on the foul. He's got 2 blocks, his first personal foul. And second free throw here for Damon Brooks. It's rebounded by Lockett. Davidson is now 3 of 6 from the free throw line. Cadogan gives up his dribble, needs some help.
Plenty of time to space the floor again.
Mayo gets a touch. High screen, Gardner. Cadogan the pull-up pop. Book it.
That's where Cadogan can really hurt you. He puts the ball on the floor. The 3-shot is not his game, even though he'll take it. Off the dribble and the bounce, 15, 16 feet away and in. He's pretty tough to defend.
First 2 of the day for Junior Cadogan. Tough distributor, great court vision. Cohen left hand, he comes up short. And it's rebounded by Wilson.
And I love the name. Junior Cadogan just sounds right, doesn't it?
It flows. And a foul call down low. Jake Cohen looking to defend in the post. He's certainly gotten his offensive game going. Cohen, the senior, leading the way. All right, Greg, thanks very much. We'll keep you updated on that one. 4 networks. We've got you covered for the NCAA Tournament 2013. CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. 1916, Davidson in front. Foul called on the outside. It'll work against Clint Mann. That's number 2 on Mann. Coming up, AT&T at the half. We'll get you caught up on all the latest tournament news, highlights, and updates. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half.
Marquette over the limit. Next one will put Davidson over the limit from a team foul perspective.
Junior Cadogan along with Gardner, Anderson, Mayo, and Lockett for Marquette.
How about the set with Gardner just then leading it from a point center position?
Shot clock is down to 14. Lockett on a kick out. High praise from his head coach. The way Lockett came in and became a leader right away in just 1 year at Marquette. Shot clock's down to 3. Gardner showing off the moves, going to the rim, and he draws a blocking foul. It's going to be Clint Mann who hits the deck and picks up number 3.
First of all, with Mann taking a step like that, you got to give him credit. A guy 290 pounds coming at him.
And this is a young man that's coming off a concussion himself.
Right, exactly.
So Trent Lockett, the swingman senior from Golden Valley, Minnesota, has impressed Buzz Williams in his 1 year with the program. As Gardner hits on the first. And right now, let's check in with Ali LaForce.
He finished his degree after just 3 years at Arizona State so he could move closer to home to be with his mother, Judy, who's battling cancer. And since he finished his degree, he didn't have to sit out a year, and he was able to play right away. She said it's made all the difference in the world and is thrilled to have him back.
And Trent is now working on his master's in leadership studies at Marquette. We've been told that Judy's cancer is in remission. So we wish her all the best in the Lockett family.
Well, that's going to be a walk going the other way.
Jarapowicz called on the travel. And Judy in attendance here, cheering on Marquette. Trent's mom. Trent had a good career at Arizona State. Averaged 13 points and 6 rebounds a game as a junior. Was a big part of that program. His scoring numbers have gone down. Anderson's jump shot doesn't go, but his importance to the team, according to Buzz Williams, called him the most important player on the team yesterday when we chatted with him.
Absolutely, and one of the things right now, I mean, this is really just, we talked about in our first game, Butler and Bucknell. This is turning into like a possession game also.
Cohen from the outside. Whoa. It's off. Rebound, 50-50 ball. Marquette gets to a lot of them. And it'll be a tie-up. Possession arrow to Davidson.
Look at Buzz Williams in the upper part of the screen. He's out there trying to call a timeout. good anticipation. But as Buzz knows the rule, you have to have possession before you can pull that one off.
Davidson started the game on a 12-2 run. Since that point, Marquette has outscored the Wildcats 16-7.
This shows you kind of with loose balls what the tournament is all about, in my opinion. Guys understanding in close games the importance of possessions, the way their intensity level. That's what makes it a treat to be able to sit here and watch them play all day long.
Cochran swings it in. Cohen on a spin. Bank shot, no. Rebounded by Otule.
Well defended, too. Used the body bump at first. Didn't allow Cohen to make his move. Take a look at the way Davidson keeps squeezing the floor, Ian, from the opposite side. When the ball goes to the left or the right.
Lockett with two defenders there. Otule, he traveled. Yep. Great effort by Otule to get the offensive rebound, but could not stay upright. Different strokes for different folks when it comes to coaching. Buzz Williams on the left, Bob McKillop on the right. What's the difference?
I'm just let your pictures do the talking once in a while.
Buzz has got the jacket off. McKillop looks like he could go to a cocktail party right now.
Or CEO, or
Now, both have done tremendous jobs with their respective programs. McKillop has been at it a long time. And Williams is just a basketball lifer. Bounced around as an assistant coach. Got his opportunity at the University of New Orleans and now with Marquette.
Oh, look at the defense. It's just picking up.
Cohen a three. Too strong. Whoa. Rebounded by Otule as Brooks takes a shot. Otule was not going to give up that rebound position. Derek Wilson in at the point guard spot for Marquette. Golden Eagles looking for their first lead. And a push. So, free throws coming up. Be the first to know the latest news on all your teams with Bleacher Report's Team Stream app. Stay one step ahead. Check out Team Stream on your iPhone, iPad, or Android device today. Second foul on Cohen. That's now 18 fouls against Davidson. That sends Jamil Wilson to the free throw line, 74% shooter. Out of Racine, Wisconsin. All tied up, 19 apiece. Marquette is now 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Second free throw for Wilson. And he goes 2 out of 2. Marquette's got its first lead of the day, thanks to a 7-0 run. 5:08 remaining. We're in the first half. 20-19. A.com/women's Final Four.
Didn't make a splash, but I guess they made a splash with the next year's recruiting class coming in, don't you think?
Yeah, that was front page news here in Lexington today.
Everything about Kentucky basketball is front page.
That's fair point.
You're absolutely right.
20-19. Marquette in front. Davidson has missed its last 5 shots and a foul called. It will be Wilson with the contact. That's number 2.
Well, here's that little step out. I think this is something that guards can take advantage of more that they don't, is when a big guy steps out to help out on a screen, and you see it closer to the basket around the top of the key area. The guards with the basketball should kind of steer right into them, bounce off them, and you'll get 75% of those calls going your way.
And now it sends Nick Cochran, number 1 in the country in free throw shooting at 94%.
So coming in 112 for 119, and there's news right there.
There's 120 and a miss. Davidson is now 3 of 7 from the free throw line. Number 1 as a team in Division I play. Cadogan wheels his way to the hoop, and Marquette extends the lead. 9-0 run for the Golden Eagles, the number 3 seed in the East. Damon Brooks outside for Kalinowski. J.P. Coleman looking to get going here. Catching fire. Cherapowicz can't hit the 3. Davidson has gone cold. Cadogan on the push. Mayo.
That's a good time to drive the basketball when you're in the middle of the floor against Davidson.
Cadogan. There's the penetration. Bank shot, no. Rebound taken away from Lockett. Whipping a pass ahead. Sharapowicz to the hoop. Running one-hander, no. Tippin got redirected. Coleman got a piece initially. And then Gardner came in. Last touch by Marquette. 3-point lead for Marquette.
Finishing it off. We saw Lockett put it on the floor. That's what they do. They like to come at you. They play aggressively. They don't take a possession off. A talented bunch, but they definitely have an advantage with the strength and size, so take advantage of it as much as you can.
14-4, they've outscored Davidson in the paint. The Wildcats have missed their last 8 shots from the field. It's a 9-0 Marquette run.
Little zone look.
Kalinowski misses an air ball from 3.
And he's a streaky three-point shooter too, Kalinowski, but they went to a zone just then. Marquette switching it up a bit.
Jake Thomas is in for Marquette. Buzz Williams will go deep. Travel. That was Damon Brooks pulling the chair out from under Chris Otule.
Yeah, here it is, right? Little bouncing, little bumping. Marquette fans might say that's a hook, but by rule, just so you know, when you catch the ball in your possession and you fall to the floor, that's an automatic traveling violation.
Does Otule at that point feel like there's going to be a body there to bounce up against?
Yeah, well, that's that concept that you touched on, right? Pulling the chair out just basically means that the defender is leaning on you. You feel him as an offensive player. You want to use his body to position yourself, and then all of a sudden, he disappears. A little tricky dribbling out front, huh?
Nick Cochran handling the ball. This has been a cold spell for Davidson, trailing now 22-19. Brooks taking it to the rim. And one. Damon Brooks will head to the free throw line. His first field goal of the day.
As we spoke about on the open, watch this seam that opens up. And terrific delivery with the length and flipping it up. But you don't get that unless you're aggressive from the 15-foot mark and in. So Brooks really going after it. The thing I liked about it, you'll notice right now he's a left-handed shooter. Just comes up short on that one, but finished it with his right hand to drive to the basket.
Had a sensational sophomore season and then was slow out of the gate in his junior year. Bob McKillop said that he trusted the system, was fighting a lot of different things, was hesitant. Sometimes he tried to do too much, but now has really picked it up, especially in the conference tournament.
Yeah, 24-8, I believe, right? In the championship game.
He was. Dive for the ball, controlled by Sharapowicz for Davidson, down by 1 against Marquette. Cochran gives it up, catch and fire. Kalinowski can't get it to go. Bodies flying as Brooks goes down, so does Lockett, and a foul called against Marquette. It's going to be Lockett picking it up. That's 10 team fouls now against the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, look at this. And it's a double team. Brooks gets tossed out of the fray.
But Damon Brooks is just 1 of 5 from the free throw line. 77% on the season. That one looked better. Wichita State with the win over Pitt, 73-55. Wow. So the Big East goes down there with Wichita State moving on. The number 9 seed will play the winner of Gonzaga Southern from Salt Lake City.
And everybody's speaking about Gonzaga with all the tools, right? Big guys, the balance of their game, the guards. It's going to be interesting whether that conference comes back to haunt them or not, right? That's the argument that people will make about them. Well, you know, their conference wasn't that great. Well, nobody's in a conference right now.
It's amazing, though, over the last 5-6 years, the transformation. Butler no longer an underdog entering this tournament. Gonzaga no longer a nice story.
Yeah.
They're a 1 seed.
Yeah, teams are making their name, knocking those guys off as they used to.
23-22, Davidson in front. We're down to 2:05 to play in the first half. Cadogan trying to make it happen with a runner. And it's rebounded by Brooks for the Wildcats.
Well defended, though. Cadogan likes to come right at you, shaking a little bit, using the strength.
Cochran on the perimeter. Troney now, 2-man game. Sharapowicz lets it fly, doesn't go. Rebound, knocked out of bounds. And touch last by Marquette. So Davidson retains possession up by 1. Midwest region, St. Louis advances the victory over New Mexico State. They will play the winner of Oklahoma State and Oregon coming up from San Jose.
And when Cherapowicz shoots the basketball from the outside, obviously he's a good shooter, right? He's 40% from three, but what happens is you're dragging a big guy out with him, which allows another opportunity on the offensive glass. So now they've switched a little bit to put Anderson on him. And that's a good defensive move by Buzz Williams because it leaves your big down deep as long as possible.
Davidson hit its first 4 3-pointers of the game. They've missed their last 6.
You see now Droney has the big on him.
Brooks outside Cherapowicz. May have traveled on the perimeter, no call. On a dunk down, Brooks works his way to the rim for the deuce.
Well, the Marquette fans behind Buzz Williams' bench over there thought there was a travel, but they play on and finishes it off with his power to his left side, his strong hand.
We hit the 1-minute mark of this first half. Anderson puts the head down but misses on the bank shot. O'Toole trying to clean it up, and he draws the foul. Chris O'Toole is going to the free throw line where he does struggle, 45%.
Brooks shoots the basketball at 50%, and here is why. He's very quick, and I love the way he gets that right shoulder around the defender. And from that standpoint, if you're trying to get to the basket, you try to get that shoulder from that side of the floor past the defender, and then the defender, the only thing he can do is give up the layup or usually foul you.
Truly short on the first attempt. Watch live games on your computer, iPhone, iPad, and select Android devices with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today.
We talked about Gardner shooting at 84% from the line, Ian. O'Toole only at 45%, so a little bit of a difference. Some people say if you could squish those two guys and blend them together, you'd have some center, but they do a pretty good job in their roles.
Are you one of those people?
Yeah, if you could.
O'Toole.
Not big on the swishes, though.
No, that would be strange. I think I've seen that movie. 9 rebounds for O'Toole, 2 blocks.
What movie haven't you seen?
Oh, that's a fair point. 25-23, Davidson. Clint Mann back in, playing with 3 fouls. Shot clock is down to 7. We're down to 28 seconds to play in this first half. Ball for grabs off of Droney, the 50-50 balls that we talked about. It's a tie-up. Possession arrow to Marquette with 23.5 left in the first half.
Here's the way you put the ball up for grabs.
25-23 Davidson. 22 seconds to go in this first half.
You want to sit on this until about 7 seconds or so. Real condensed. Take a look right there, across the board. They got 3 Davidson players. They switch to a zone right now. They don't do it that often.
We're down to 6 seconds left. Cadogan with 5. Down to 4. Wilson the pump. Down to 2. Down to 1. Wilson, no. That follow attempt doesn't go. And that's the end of the first half. Gardner thought he was fouled on the play.
Bob McKillop with a great defensive move against Buzz Williams' squad going to the zone look.
Plays that we need to be able to finish. I thought there in the middle of the half we were pretty good on both ends. We've got to be able to do that for 20 minutes.
All right, good luck, Coach. Thanks.
All right, Allie, thank you very much. We start playing this second half from Rupp Arena, and it's the 14 seed in the East leading the number 3 seed, Davidson. 2-point edge on Marquette. The jumper to get things started in the second half is off the mark for Cherapowicz.
Little switch right there. We saw Davidson switch to their zone. Just then we see Marquette come out with the trap in the backcourt a little bit. Davidson takes a quicker shot.
Vander Blue averages 14.3 points per game, held to 2 in that first half. And Blue sat for a long portion of the first half. O'Toole is fouled on the inside. They surrounded O'Toole, who established excellent position.
And a real good set, too, just to start it off for Marquette. But take a look at what happened in this first half. The physical play of college basketball becomes a discussion item, I think, across the country in the NCAA tournament in terms of the physical play and how far the officials let them play or not. It's always an interesting subject matter.
O'Toole at the free throw line. Over on CBS, Memphis leading St. Mary's 49-42, just over 2 minutes to play.
Actually, a good effort there by Black. Tarek Black coming off the bench from Memphis. Ian doing a good job. That's what they really need, some post-up presence.
Conference USA champions, questions that they dealt with coming into this tournament. How would they handle better competition?
Good start here, Marquette, with their real strong pressure out front on the perimeter. We saw the traps the first possession.
First minute of play, second half. It's Brooks on the perimeter. Kuhlman swings it inside. Cohen slips to the rim.
Pretty good delayed cut, too, by Cohen just then. Timing is everything, right? Just wait it out, be patient, and make sure your big guy who's defending you leans towards the opposite end of the floor and then cut on him.
10 points for Jake Cohen. 27-25, Davidson. Spread the floor. Anderson looking down low, trying to establish Otule. They double him.
And that's where they're coming from, the weak side, remember. So if you reverse it, you should have something happening. There you go.
With a penetration, and he draws the foul. Got a little flip up near the rim. He's going to the line.
They work both sides of the floor, and there's the slip cut. Nobody's home. Good job there by Davidson to run that play to perfection.
Cherapowicz picks up the foul, and it sends Vander Blue to the free throw line. Junior from Madison, Wisconsin, very aggressive. He's got a flashy game. All Big East second team this year, a hybrid guard.
So I'm glad you didn't start speaking about free throw shooting just then for him to jinx him. Bob McKillop mentioning that we have some impact.
Well, I don't think Bob McKillop would mind if we jinx Marquette. Yeah, I think he's more than comfortable with us talking about Marquette's free throw shooting.
Do you feel in the studio that Ernie Johnson supported us or left us out there to dry a little bit?
No, I felt he was on Bob McKillop's side. I was completely offended at halftime. Right down the middle. Wow. Cohen misses on the floater.
He was trying to avoid a charge. They forgot about the basket.
Cadogan swings it. Blue trying to take the baseline. Anderson gives it up. Cadogan, the leaner, comes off the rim. And a strong rebound by Damon Brooks.
I like the way Davidson is back there rebounding and really putting four guys underneath.
Cohen the catch and the release for two.
Good look by Cochran, too, outside, recognizing what's going on, just reading the situation perfectly.
Davidson returned all 5 starters from last year's NCAA tournament team. They've got a 29-27 lead on Marquette. Entry. Otule finishes.
Seen a couple of possessions with Otule trying to get himself positioned properly. And anytime you can use the body and ride your guy up the line a little bit, make sure that entry pass goes to the baseline. Marquette has executed well twice on that.
During the 17-game winning streak, Davidson shooting 49% from the field. They're shooting 37% here today. Cohen the fake, the pull-up pop, tried to bank it in. And the rebound controlled by Marquette. It was knocked over to Cadogan.
Tough shot, too, for Cohen. You don't know whether to take that one and float it over or go backboard, but it's tougher to go backboard from that angle.
Here's Blue putting it on the floor. Whoops. Anderson with Cherapowicz. Just over 3 minutes gone by in the second half.
Cadogan good off the bounce.
Cadogan gives it up. Blue now. The jumper, he buries it. Vander Blue beginning to get his fingerprints on this game. He's got 6. 31-29, Marquette. Cohen in the post. Jake Cohen. A twirl inside for Cohen as he put it up and over Otule.
Yeah, he's doing his work beforehand. As Gardner gets up off the bench, he's setting himself up against Otule, who looks a little tired this minute.
Lockett a crossover, leans in, can't get it to go. It's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Davidson.
Here he's wide open, Cohen down on the blocks. Good delivery to get it to him. Now watch this fake, too, here on the second one. He's going to go to his left, our left looking at it, and then finishing it across. So setting himself up very, very patient, even though he's going up against 2 guys who outweigh him and have been leaning on him all afternoon.
Cohen's going to get a breather. Clint Mann is in. Jump shot, Blue, too strong. Wilson comes flying in to just keep that ball alive, but it's going the other way.
Let's take a look.
Off the right foot of Jamil Wilson.
Yep. Good work by the officials.
Well, we talked about how Marquette was able to battle back in this game, establishing the paint. Davidson is caught up in that category. It's now 14-14 in paint points. And we're tied at 31.
And that's the Cohen factor, right, in terms of being able to position himself. Now he's not on the floor right now, so let's take a look at Davidson more towards an outside presence. Let's see if they get Brooks involved a little bit more.
J.B. Kuhlman has been held scoreless, 0 of 2 from the field for the Wildcats.
You got a high-low with Brooks if they go for it.
Kuhlman, a three.
Good work both sides of the floor, though. They have the high-low set up for Brooks. Not there. They look past it, and they go the other way. I think we're going the other way right now also with the big fella pushing his arm out. We've got Gardner in the middle.
Gardner trying to set up. Buzz Williams upset.
51-46 as they approach a half minute to play in regulation. Ian and Jim.
All right, Greg, winner there will take on Michigan State. Made easy work of Valparaiso earlier today in Auburn Hills. 3-point game here in Lexington. Davidson 34, Marquette 31. 15:38 to go in this second half.
A little bit of a trap again by Marquette in the backcourt. They get back to their man-to-man.
Man able to get it across for Davidson. J.P. Kuhlman using the man screen. Cochran now feeds the post. Brooks against the much bigger Otule. And a foul called. It was Cherapowicz who was moving towards the lane area.
Well, what happened?
Picks it up.
Yeah, with Bob McKillop's offense right there, they go left side of the floor to the right side, and they were executing that part of it. The Cherapowicz then runs down to set a screen, and he's moving, did not get him set. So it's the right call from the officials.
He's going to sit. Tom Droney checks in. Droney was a starter each of the last 2 years, now in his junior season out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Davidson up by 3. Into the hands of Cadogan.
Double team.
Otule gets rid of it. Blue. Just over 5 minutes elapsed in this second half.
See the condensed. Watch the Davidson when they come to the middle of the floor, try to get it down deep. They sag.
Blue over man. Knocks it down. It's a 3. We're tied at 34. Tough shot by Vander Blue, contested.
Yeah, 3 of 9 from the floor, so he's starting to get more and more involved right now with his 9 points, looking to take charge a bit. He can also put it on the floor and go by people.
Droney dumps it inside. Brooks, double team, swatted out of there by Otule. Third block for Otule. Wilson steps into the 3, in and out. And a push inside against Man. Otule going for the offensive board.
So here you see a little contact out front. Man bounces back just a little bit. Enough time for Blue to get that shot off. It's kind of a separator. Question is then, does he extend that right arm far enough to get the official's call? Not that trip.
Man will sit, replaced by Jake Cohen. And now we'll get Tyler Kalinowski in, replacing Damon Brooks. 14 fouls against Davidson.
Yeah, Kalinowski was 0 for 2 from 3, but keep an eye on him because he spreads the floor pretty well. He's a good three-point shooter.
Wilson stumbles, and he stepped on the baseline. Out of bounds. Turnover, Marquette.
Well, let's take a look. He goes by him, gets the shoulders by, and then slides that right foot. Good catch. Good shot there, and goes the other way.
Buzz Williams said Jamil Wilson is the best athlete that he's had at Marquette. The question with Wilson has been his motor. Just wants to see that more consistently. Wilson averaging 9.5 points and just under 5 rebounds per game off the bench.
Big game recently, 19 against Notre Dame, so he can light it up in a hurry.
Coleman puts it on the floor. The drive and dish. Was it tipped? It was. Last touch by Marquette. Davidson beat the College of Charleston in the Southern Conference Final 74-55. Their last loss, January 14th to Georgia Southern, 70-57. So that's 17 straight wins. This team was 9-7 at one point this season. They beat the Citadel to go to 10-7. They haven't lost since. They're 26-7. Cohen on the outside. The spin, Cohen, and that ball was tipped by Otule.
Never got the footwork down on there. Pretty good spin out front, but then lost his balance.
Marquette trying to regain the lead here. Otule sealing off the inside. Double? Doesn't matter. Otule scores on the interior.
So you make that happen with your hands, too. You get your hands out there for the catch. You set yourself up in body-wise, but you're right. Just too strong and powerful, even with a double coming from the other side.
9 points, 10 rebounds for Chris Otule, the senior from Richmond, Texas. It's a new career high in rebounds. Cochran gives it up. Gets it back from Kuhlman.
Look at the reactions by the Marquette perimeter players. Every catch is somebody out there guarding.
Golden Eagles up by 2. Cohen, the sweeping hook. Doesn't go. And it's rebounded by Wilson for Marquette. Derek Wilson out there with Jamil Wilson. Otule, Blue, and Lockett rounding out the 5 on the floor. Work the perimeter. Shot clock is down to 12. Wilson, defended by Kalinowski. Now it's Jamil Wilson. A double. Cohen the denial. And it's out of bounds off of Wilson.
There's a perfect example of how Davidson is playing their defense. The post-up move by Wilson, but watch the big fella. He steps in right there to put up a wall that doesn't allow a good shot to come off. So you have to work first, and the second guy in usually gets the credit for the play. First guy has to make the attempt defensively to set that up. But Bob McKillop's team is doing a terrific job of weak side help coming across the floor when necessary.
Gardner and Taylor in. Now Blue is going to sit, replaced by Mayo. Cohen will trigger in. His team is down by 2. We've got 12:33 to play. Second half here in Lexington. Second round action from the East region. The number 14 seed Davidson trailing Marquette 36-34.
Haven't had much success putting it on the floor and going by people with a reach out there. No reason to do that for Mayo. Ball's going away from the basket.
So that'll work against Todd Mayo, the sophomore from Huntington, West Virginia. Tournament summary: Atlantic 10 is unbeaten, 3-0. St. Louis, NCAA tournament wins in consecutive seasons, first time in school history. Wichita State, first NCAA tournament win since 2006 as they knock off Pitt. Davidson started this game 6 of 10 from the field. The Wildcats have hit on 6 of their last 23 attempts. They have not had a field goal in over 3.5 minutes. Over on CBS, Memphis 2-point lead against St. Mary's with 1 second to play. You can check out the action and all the madness over on CBS.
Somebody for Davidson has to put the ball on the floor and go by somebody on the perimeter for Marquette. They're just going around and not doing anything with the ball.
Kalinowski gives it up. There's Cohen with 10 to shoot. Brooks is back in. Cochran on a shovel. Jump shot doesn't go for Droney. But Davidson was right there ready for it.
Cochran in a good spot as that ball kicked off to the left corner. He was out in the left corner. We've got some action down deep.
And it's going to be Cohen working against Gardner. Cohen got thrown down. He disagrees with the call. What else stands out about this matchup?
Well, Marquette's, remember, started out shooting very poorly. That's where they got a bunch of their offensive rebounds. But what's standing out to me, really, for the most part, is the fact that the aggressiveness in terms of both sides of the floor defensively, especially Marquette on the perimeter.
Jump shot doesn't go for Lockett. And a foul called off the rebound action. It's going to work against Marquette. Memphis holds on for the win against St. Mary's, and it will be the 3-6 matchup in the Midwest in Auburn Hills. Michigan State and Memphis on Saturday. Blue called for his 3rd foul.
And Memphis shoots 41%.
Catch and shoot doesn't go for Kalinowski. Inside, the finish by Droney.
The offensive glass the last 2 trips to Davidson, very friendly.
38-36, Davidson.
Nice help from the backside.
Kalinowski could not stay on his feet. A near turnover for Marquette.
Here we go. Staying on the play. Good work. Davidson working the glass, working the boards.
Jay Cohen to the bench. He's replaced by Chris Cherapowicz. Cohen sits with 14 points on 6 of 15 from the field.
Cohen has those 3 fouls, too.
Gardner squeezes his way towards the rack.
Really just too much to handle for Brooks. One-on-one down on the blocks.
9 points now for Devontae Gardner, the junior. Tied at 38. Just under 11 minutes to play in the second half. Droney gets it inside. Brooks off the window. It doesn't go, but a foul called. Damon Brooks to the free throw line.
Buzz Williams and company continue to try to get the blocks, the touches, and he's very patient, isn't he? Looking at me, just waits it out and then uses that strength and size to power his way by, not leaping through people or over people, but just positioning himself with the footwork.
On the other end, Gardner called on his 3rd personal foul, and Damon Brooks at the free throw line. Davidson up by 1. Devontae Gardner, 6th man of the year in the Big East this season, and a load to deal with inside as Brooks knocks down a pair. 40-38, Davidson in front.
Davidson sliding into a 2-3 zone right now. And try to collapse the floor as much as they can down low to keep it out of the blocks, off the blocks, I should say. Force it to the outside.
Blue, pump fake. Outside Cadogan. Now it's Lockett with 12 to shoot on the skip pass. Shot clock is down to 8. The spin by Wilson. Blue steps into the 3. Air ball. Lockett does save. Wilson is there. He can't finish it, but a foul. And that is all Lockett, keeping that play alive and creating an opportunity for Buzz Williams' squad.
Yeah, this is a nice reach around right there. He's trying to knock it off Cochran. He doesn't get it there. And then it goes right to Marquette, to Wilson to go to the basket with it. And by the way, very, very close. With the shot clock was just about empty on that trip.
And very, very close to Lockett being out of bounds before he got rid of the pass. Follow tournament scores, stats, and news live on the CBS Sports app. Get it free by texting SCORE to 42777 or by visiting cbssports.com/mobile from your phone or tablet. Wilson goes 1 out of 2. Marquette down by 1. We will hit the halfway point of this second half. Winner will play Butler, who earlier today knocked off Bucknell. Brooks not going to take the 3, a 22% shooter from out there. Kalinowski will. And hits.
He's streaky. When he comes off that bench, he's just looking to spread the floor.
Off the drive, it doesn't go for Marquette. Down to 9:35 to play. Davidson up by 4. That shot is good. Nick Cochran extends the Davidson lead, 45-39.
Well, that was a lull-me-to-sleep type of play at the offensive end. They've been sitting on the perimeter. They have not been driving to the basket. Then all of a sudden, Cochran makes that move. Davidson up 6.
So, Greg, the Conference USA, Memphis Tigers getting the win, their final year in that conference, and they advance the number 6 seed in the Midwest to take on 3rd-seeded Michigan State in Auburn Hills, Michigan. 11-3 run for Davidson over the last 2 minutes and change. They've got a 45-39 lead on Marquette, the number 3 seed, the Golden Eagles, against the number 14 seed, the Wildcats of Davidson. The back end by Wilson. Turns, trying to create some space. Cadogan the drive. The pull-up. Off the rim, it doesn't go. Rebound, knocked around, Lockett's got it. And he draws the foul. Lockett going to the free throw line. A chance to cut into this Davidson lead. Celebrate 75 years of March Madness by voting for your all-time players, teams, and moments of the NCAA tournament. Vote now at ncaa.com/March Madness. Lockett shooting it at 74% at the free throw line.
A little run of a couple of minutes here where things just haven't been working for Marquette.
Jarapowicz called on the foul, his third. Lockett goes 1 out of 2. His mom Judy in attendance. Trent's sister Taylor plays volleyball at Duquesne. Talented family. Davidson up by 5.
They get by that front two-man trap up in the backcourt, and then they patiently look to execute. Buzz Williams changing now to its zone. If they can get the ball, yep, there it goes, right for the middle area to Brooks.
He gets a touch, turns with a drop step. Well covered there by O'Toole. 9 to shoot. Cochran now with 6 on the clock. Near steal. Brooks the crossover. Brooks rejected by O'Toole. He has been a terror defensively, his 4th block. Cadogan the lob.
Good pass.
Wilson the catch in traffic, now in some trouble. Vander blew out of bounds on the sideline. Turnover, Marquette.
And that was a good pass to the post, except for the fact it kind of hung up there, right? It didn't get down quick enough. And then he has to save it by pushing it out to the sidelines. And I guess that's a pretty easy call, don't you think? When you're half a foot out of bounds.
Not that it's a factor right now, but as you get deeper, if Marquette is trailing in this game, they have the worst three-point shooting percentage of any team in the NCAA tournament field, and they are 1 of 8 here today. Again, it's only a 5-point game, but you get deeper into this game, if Davidson is able to extend, Marquette has a tough time coming back from those kind of deficits because of their poor shooting from 3.
And how about an 80% free throw shooter team?
Cohen on the spin inside gives Davidson a 7-point cushion.
So to your point, Ian, you're down, right? If you're down 4 minutes to go and you need to start fouling, you're going to be fouling the best free throw shooting team, and you're not an outside shooting team.
Blue off the mark for 3.
Nice run down.
Scrambles for it. Brooks comes away with it. Brooks a little bit out of control, and it's out of bounds off of Davidson.
What a wild exchange there from half court all the way in. And here comes a full stick Cohen down deep. Nobody guards him initially. He's open for a second. Way too late with the way Davidson passes the basketball.
7.5 remaining. The number 14 seed in the East, leading 3rd-seeded Marquette. It's Davidson 47 and the Golden Eagles 40.
Do they want to trap or not? Have they just taken some time off the clock? Just make Marquette think about what defense they're in. It's back to a 2-3 zone.
Marquette gets into its offense here, 18 to shoot. Anderson back on for the Golden Eagles.
Bob McKillop using his scouting report, thinking that Marquette has some trouble shooting from the outside.
Lockett makes his move, gets into the teeth of the defense, has it blocked from behind.
I like the drive by Lockett against the zone. He really had pretty good opportunities. 2 of them coming through the lane just then. Sealed pretty quickly, though.
Cochran tried to take it off the dribble against Blue.
You see, they just keep spreading the floor on you. They make you play them defensively, and they don't hurry into a shot.
Cochran looking down low, couldn't get it inside to Brooks. Keep it on the perimeter. Now Cohen will get a touch. 6 to shoot. Cohen against Anderson. Shot clock down to 3. Cohen, it's good. Jake Cohen. He's got 18. He's given Davidson a 9-point lead.
And he has given them the big buckets in the last couple of minutes when they really need them, putting the pressure on Marquette to respond.
Inside, Gardner spins, tip ball, and last touch by Davidson. A year ago, Davidson lost to Louisville 69-62 in the second round. The Cardinals went to the Final Four.
Knows that he can jump over people down deep with that extended hook shot, little jump hook. Against the 6'6" Anderson that trip.
17-game winning streak. That's the longest in the nation. Davidson at 26-7. They've got a 9-point lead on Marquette out of the Big East. Wilson the drive. Long strides. Wilson can't finish around the rim. Battle for it. O'Toole and Brooks. And a tie-up call from one official. And the other official has come in.
Yeah, I think what you're going to see here is O'Toole going over the top first. And that's going to be the foul, and then there'll be a tie-up right after it. So let's see if O'Toole comes in, ball's up still for grabs here. Now watch. He's over the top, doesn't have the basketball. Good call from the officials. Nice work.
So the tie-up was called Michael Irving, and then Randy McCall came running in to say O'Toole will get charged with his second foul.
A little tip here. See who comes up with it.
Davidson does.
Yeah, that foul will override the jump ball.
11-2 run. Brooks on the inside. The flip, no, but a foul. It's Wilson who thought he was standing straight up defending Damon Brooks. And he'll have an opportunity to bring Davidson to a double-digit lead. Third foul against Jamil Wilson.
Now, and we don't know how this is going to play out in less than 6 minutes, right? But I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, the more powerful team, especially down low, in terms of being able to bounce people around, I would say Marquette has that edge. Davidson has not stepped away from it, though. They're still hanging in there with them. They're rebounding with them, even though they're down 6 from a rebounding standpoint. But I like the effort on a collective basis at both ends of the floor by Davidson to mix it up.
Hard to ignore the numbers. 80% free throw shooting team, #1 in the country. They are now 7 of 14 from the line.
Ernie Johnson's going to have a field day on us.
You're just so powerful, Jim. 9-point lead for Davidson.
They got to get something going here, don't they, in terms of getting an offensive rhythm?
Here's Cadogan zigzagging to the rim. And it's popped in. So Marquette crashing the boards. O'Toole got in there. And O'Toole now with 11 to go along with 11 rebounds. 49-42. Cochran gives it up. Kalinowski.
Just continue with the high screens around the perimeter.
Cohen on a kick out. Shot clock is down to 14. We're under 5 minutes to play. 7-point lead for Davidson.
They'll either get Cohen in the blocks. They may just very well get a backdoor cut off these high screens to the wing.
Cochran swing it out. Cohen a three. No good. And it's rebounded by Cadogan.
Soft touch, wasn't it, from deep?
Timeout called by Buzz Williams. 4:38 remaining. Second half. Davidson has got a 7-point lead on Marquette. 59-57. Bob McKillop, 24th year at Davidson. He's been there since 1989. 452 career victories. And a chance to create another memorable moment here today in Lexington. The winner will play Butler as the Bulldogs beat Bucknell earlier. Thomas is off the mark, just into the game. Wilson got his hands on it, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Marquette. So here's where we stand in the East Regional in Lexington. Butler advances, the #6 seed. Marquette and Davidson now with 4:22 to play. And the 14th seeded Wildcats in front.
Marquette going 2-2-1 right now. They're trying to pick up the pace, maybe get Davidson to shoot the ball a little quicker than normal, but I'm not buying it right now, just the way they execute their offense.
Marquette is 1 of 10 from three-point territory. Jumper Kalinowski. Doesn't go.
Yeah, that was right on the money, too. Just short on the front iron. We had a great look over his right shoulder on that one. There you go. Go by somebody.
Wilson shifting gears on a kick out for Blue. Blue. Floater doesn't go. Kalinowski fighting for it. Blue hits the deck. Another scramble for the loose ball. And a timeout called by Buzz Williams.
Pretty good reaction by Buzz Williams right there. Look at this. I do like this timeout by Buzz Williams. I think he was ahead of himself in terms of saying, I know this possession is very, very big. I got to call this timeout because this is huge right here to keep their confidence in this game.
Get it in for Thomas. Gives it up for Lockett. We're down to 3:37 remaining.
Question is, what do they do with it? Little action. Good move to get it to Wilson.
The back end. Wilson using his size. And it rolls off the rim for Marquette. It's going to count. Somebody grabbed the net.
Yep. I can't believe how long this ball sat on the rim. First of all, right? Pace moving defensively. Looking for turnovers, and they're looking for quicker shots than normal by Davidson.
Davidson went 0-3 against RPI top 50 competition this season. Losses to Duke, New Mexico, and Gonzaga. But this is the NCAA tournament. Anything goes.
Yeah.
Cohen trying to get it across, and he does to Cochran.
Pretty good effort defensively just then by Marquette. But notice how patient they are. They get it across, touch of panic in the body, but then they go back and look to really pass the basketball around the perimeter.
Cochran probing. Kalinowski spread the floor. Cherapowicz, shot clock winding down, the fadeaway, short, and it's rebounded by Wilson for Marquette.
Wilson hanging around the glass. Good job off that glass.
Whoa. Brooks went for the steal. Wilson able to secure it. Lockett looking down low.
Against the man-to-man, you want to attack.
Wilson, the spin. Wilson, the bank. Jamil Wilson, the transfer from Oregon.
A little bit of rattle in Davidson in this backcourt right now. Oh, there's a foul.
Cohen is fouled, and it's Wilson who came to greet him in the backcourt.
Okay, so now you have the action here. Put it on the floor against the man-for-man. Go one-on-one if you're Wilson. And need I say, Ian, back to our point about 3.5 minutes ago, right? Davidson at the line, 80% free throw shooting team. This is where they can really, really figure this game out if they make their free throws.
His first trip to the line today, 83% on the season.
And it's a team right now, 7 of 14.
Jake Cohen,
oh boy,
gets the roll. The only player in the nation with at least 1,700 career points, 700 rebounds, 150 assists, and over 100 threes. Knocks down a pair.
Better one on the second one. A little difficult, or more difficult shooting on this stage than during the regular season, too, I might add.
51-46, Davidson. We're down to 2:15 to play.
Back to their zone. That's going to try to squeeze the middle of the floor again, and the blocks don't allow the easy catch down deep by Gardner and force it to the outside where we touched on their 1 for 10 from the floor at the three-point strike.
Here's Blue. On a dish for Lockett, 10 to shoot, under 2 minutes left.
Still got to go by somebody.
Wilson, a cross-court feed. Blue will fire the three. In and out. It's rebounded by Cochran.
And well executed. There you see Wilson reaching around for the foul, but well executed. Blue had a beautiful look, too. I think Buzz Williams, as the die, thought that shot was going to go in, but he's a 30% shooter from the three-point stripe. So Davidson really doing a good job of playing the percentages.
Buzz Williams just indicated to Wilson, hey, we're not looking for a foul there.
Yeah, I'm not sure he was doing an automatic foul just then. I think he was just anxious to go get the ball.
Cochran, 94%. 52-46.
Davidson has this positioned exactly where they want this. They can turn this into a free throw shooting contest as long as they can hit them. And they get one more stop at the defensive end. They're in pretty good shape because Marquette will have no choice but the foul. Big possession on the offensive end right now for Marquette.
We're down to 1:42 remaining here in Lexington. 53-46 Davidson, the 14 seed, leading the 3 seed in the East. Cadogan lines it up. Can't hit the three. The follow doesn't go, but Blue is fouled. And Vander Blue will head to the free throw line where he is a 72% shooter. Cochran called on his 3rd foul. Marquette trying to cut it to 5. Marquette is 13 of 17 from the free throw line. Vander Blue, second one coming. The survivor of this one will play Butler, the number 6 seed, advance with a win over Bucknell earlier today.
And the beauty of Davidson's lineup, Ian, is that the big guys shoot free throws well. So a lot of times in situations like this, you say, you know what, we got to find the guard. Get the guard, who's usually the best free throw shooter. And yeah, that's true with Cochran at 94. But these other guys, like Brooks, for example, shoots it at 77. Not a bad guy to get the ball in his hands, too.
Hasn't shot it well, though, here today. 5 of 11. They handle the pressure. Coleman will get it across. We're down to 1:25 to play. 53-48 Davidson.
Now at this time on the clock, you want to make sure you play aggressively defensively, but don't foul. Too late in the clock.
Shot clock is down to 15. Coleman against Anderson, and there's the foul.
Yep.
So you're talking about 20-plus seconds that come off the clock. And the foul called against Marquette. The last time a 14 seed beat a 3, 2010. Ohio, the Bobcats shot the Georgetown Hoyas. Armin Bassett, 32 points. 16 times in NCAA tournament history, a 14 seed has knocked off a 3 seed.
See, I'm big on playing the clock, right, and stopping the clock, but you have to look at the situation right there. With that shot clock that low, you have to trade the time in for the foul at that particular point. You just can't bump somebody that far away.
J.P. Kuhlman, 72% shooter. The lead is 6. 1 out of 2, rebounded by Lockett. Just over a minute to play.
Don't need the 3 right now. You need something going to the basket, especially if you don't shoot it real well.
Wilson will take the 3 and makes the 3. Jamil Wilson from long range. It's a 3-point game with an even minute to play. 1 minute to play. Winner will meet Butler in the 3rd round.
See, Buzz Williams in no man's land as a coach right now, Ian, right? You take a look at this. I think you just want to play this aggressively. The downside is that you're against a team that executes very well and shoots free throws. So if you don't get a stop here, you're really in trouble. But they're electing to go. It looks like to play it straight up. And that's his choice, and he's got to live with it right now from the defensive end of the floor.
44 seconds to play, 19 to shoot. The roll to the rim. Damon Brooks with the finish.
Eventually they were going to get a backdoor cut to the basket with the pressure from Marquette.
56-51 Davidson. We're down to 33 seconds left. Cadogan has to make it happen quickly. Blue a pump, a fend off, a 3. Oh! Vander Blue has cut it to 2.
Now the exercise is you have to go for your quick double teams, but who do you foul? They know they can spread the floor, but you better make a quicker decision than this.
They're losing valuable seconds here.
Absolutely.
20.2 on the clock, and a foul given to the wrong man. It's Nick Cochran who shoots it at 94%.
Well, you take a look at the action at the top of the key right here. A lot of action. The picks, guys get double teamed there with the bounce, and they take the big guy Gardner away from the floor, and then you come right back and answer long range. But you couldn't have a better script right here if you're Davidson with this guy. Look at those numbers at 94%.
The lead is 3. 20.2 left on the clock. Jake Thomas is going to check in. He will take Lockett's spot on the floor. 3-point game. Second free throw coming for Nick Cochran. Over 1,000 career points at Davidson, the senior from Vancouver, British Columbia. Hits a pair. 4-point lead for Davidson.
Bob McKillop with the timeouts right now, but I agree with his decision right here. Force Marquette out without a timeout and the benefit of it.
4-point game. We're down to 14 seconds left. Cadogan gives it up. Wilson fires the 3. Yes! Jamil Wilson. It's a 1-point game.
Same exercise. Go for the quick foul. You can't waste the time. Oh, wait a minute.
Trying to save it. It's out of bounds. Marquette's going to get it back with 5.5 seconds left. Down by 1.
You see, and Marquette has options right now. They get it into the right hands going towards the basket. Only down the point.
Here we go.
Yep.
5 seconds left. Marquette down by 1. Trying to avoid the upset. Blue the drive. The left hand. It's good. 1 second to play. Vander Blue has put Marquette in front by 1. Timeout Davidson.
A great decision. They had the options. I thought when he caught defensively, it looks like he's going to be guarding the ball, and he may not be the tallest guy, but he's got some nice wingspan. And then you have Cohen, who my guess is has a pretty good throwing arm, or he wouldn't be out of bounds right now.
Davidson looking for the miracle. Down by 1. Cohen the toss. It's intercepted, and it's over. Marquette with the rally. The Golden Eagles advance. Davidson thought they were going to have a mark.